Ooh, ooh. See how this guy looks? We've got the spot lock on. Ooh. See how this guy looks. Whoa, 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 whoa. Had a little bit of weather up here lately. Yesterday was pretty adverse. We actually went out and did a lot of trolling to figure out, you know, you come to new waters, and actually trolling is a great technique to figure out where the fish are located at. That's what we did yesterday.
Before we go too far down the lake, let me fill you in on where we are and what we're doing. James and I are on a truly unique fishing adventure. We're in Big Fish country of Northwest Ontario at Cashabowie River Resort. Specifically, we're on Shabanawan Lake, about an hour's drive west of Thunder Bay. Today we're chasing big walleyes. Now, neither James or I have ever been on this body of water before, which is fun because you got to figure out the lake structure and then try to get a pattern rolling, and a good way to start doing that is by trolling. We're running a Mercury 150 4-stroke, which is a real dream motor for many reasons. First, it's really super reliable, it's basically bulletproof, and it's very quiet for a long day of trolling. And it features a SmartCraft gauge, which allows us to fine-tune our speed for the lures we're trolling. This is really super slick, so you're not stuck with one trolling speed, or the pain of engaging and re-engaging the motor to keep the boat at the proper speed. Plus, this baby really sips gasoline. We'll fill it up once for a trip like this, and know we'll have some left over. Now, trolling allows you to do several things quickly. For one, you get a good layout of the lake structure. Many of these remote lakes are not mapped, so you need search techniques to find the key structures. Secondly, trolling keeps your baits in the strike zone for extended periods of time. You get the bait down to depth, and you leave it there.
Ooh, there he is.
Many times, trolling will show you where the most active fish are. Then you can always slow down and refine your presentation to get more bites if you need to. Yesterday, we isolated some main lake structures by trolling. We caught a few big pike and some really nice walleyes. We saw tons of bait and got a pretty good idea that there are more fish using these key kinds of structures. Now that we know where they are, we're going to slow down a little bit and try bouncing a few out of their comfort zones.
Yep. Whoa, wow. I wonder if that might be a pike, I'm not sure. Come here, buddy. Whoa, there we go. See how this guy looks? We've got the spot lock on. There we go. Deep water, big walleyes in Northwest Ontario. You know, so many people come up here during the summer months, and one of the real critical techniques is what Dave Sand and I are going to talk about, and it's various types of bottom bouncing for big walleyes in deep water. And look at that size of that one. That's the first one of the day. There you go. There you go. Look at that one. It's a beautiful fish. Look at that. There we go. That one came on a spinner rig. David, I'm going to need the pliers, please. Beautiful fish. But I was going to talk about bottom bouncing for walleyes. You know, bottom bouncers actually, there's a wide variety of different ways to fish them, or different bait presentations. Right now we're using a VMC spin drift rig, but you can also pull Rapalas on them and actually just straight live bait. It's a beautiful fish. We'll get her back in the water and hopefully we'll catch a bunch more of them. There we go. Back to the depths. You know, a lot of people come to Canada in the spring. We're up here really right now. It's actually the third week of July. The interesting thing is, you know, a lot of people like that shallow water fishing. This deep water fishing can be really fun too. The thing is in these lakes, what you have to do is really look for really specific lake sections where you have deeper lake basins. You know, in early season, everybody's up in the shallow river, you know, back ends of bays and where you have rivers coming in. Right now, it's sort of the reverse. We're looking for the big, deep water sections of the lake where you have ciscos and tullibees, a real primary forage for a lot of the bigger pike, walleyes, and smallmouth bass that inhabit these lakes.
It's an interesting area where we are today at Shabandawon Lake. It's right next to the Quetico, which is a large area of canoe only, where people come in and they paddle around. James and I aren't really paddlers. We got too much gear and camera equipment. So nice thing about coming here is you can bring your own boat. And Shabandawon, while it looks very pristine here, it's actually kind of a popular tourist lake for people from Thunder Bay. It's about an hour's drive away. So there's actually a lot of cottages here, and there's people tooling around and having a good time and fishing. So we're not in the remote wilderness, but it sure looks like it. And one thing is we've got wilderness quality fishing, that's for sure.
Right now we're pulling spinner rigs, and speed is pretty critical, you know what I mean? And it really depends on the drift. Right now I'm slipping backward, and what I want to do is maintain a speed of 0.8 to like 1.2 miles an hour. But it's really pretty critical is how you're moving with your trolling motor, but you know, boat control. If you have just a straight night crawler rig, it's, you know, not quite as important, but with that spinner you want to be able to keep that blade rolling. And that's where about the right that really keeps that bait tracking really nicely. A lot of times when the fish hit it with this, what you're gonna do is I don't set the hook immediately. It's sort of interesting when you're moving along and they come up and they'll just sort of nip at it, at that night crawler and the spinner, and it's sitting there snapping along, and then you just feed it back a little bit and you lift into them. It's not a real soft like sweep set as far as hook setting goes. David's got a good one. There you go. Another one.
Right on the edge.
I got one too.
Whoa.
Big
double
boys.
Headers. These are big boys too.
I got a big boy on here. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, they're little hooks on the spinner.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Don't cross lines. Wow.
Yeah, these are big boys.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. Wow. Wow, holy mackerel. David, I don't know if this is a walleye. This has got to be a great big pike or something here. Wow. Can you handle your own?
I'm going to have to.
This is starting to get pretty interesting. Wow. What size is he?
Don't know yet.
Wow, big walleye, holy mackerel. Nice. David,
whoa,
wow,
nice.
Look at that whopper stopper. You're talking really jumbo jacks you got going there, Bubba.
Double headers are a good problem to have. I'll be right with you there, James. Boy, I'll tell you, that's what people come up to Northwest Ontario for. Big, beautiful walleyes just like that one. And there's lots more where this one came from.
Oh. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oh. That's a pretty nice pike on a spinner rig too. Wow.
Here, we'll do a double.
Yep, that was sort of an interesting thing. Is, you know what, this exact bottom bouncing as a technique is pretty interesting in the fact that we use it for a wide variety of different fish species when you're deep water fishing, for lake trout, big pike, walleyes as well, dependent on what the bait you want to pull. But look at that, do spinner rigs and bottom bouncing work? Well,
absolutely.
I tell you one thing, I believe it. Go get this guy back in the water.
This one too.
Buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh. There we go. Whoa. There you go. You know, seasonally, all these fish make really dramatic seasonal movements. You know, people coming up to Northwestern Ontario, a lot of people like fishing in spring because the fish are shallow. Realistically, a lot of the fish at this time of the year, throughout midsummer, we're here the third week in July, a lot of the fish are really, you know, grouped together. And not only that, they're grouped by size. And right now, what we're looking for is really deep main lake basins right out in Out this way, it's 50 foot of water. You have a deeper main lake basin. You have a lot of whitefish and tullabies, which is a primary forage for almost all the biggest fish in this lake, whether it be smallmouth bass, walleyes, big pike, and lake trout. You can see I actually have a number of different coordinates. These coordinates actually represent an area probably about 1.5 to 2 blocks long. But what these coordinates are really identify is the top of the ledge. You can see I'm in 38 foot of water right now, but watch when as I approach 747, what I did is put these coordinates on the top of the ledge, and it enables us to really move directly right along that ledge as simply as possible, moving along. You can see we're moving right up to the top. There's the top of the ledge. But we're gonna move back up here, and I'm gonna make another drift pass downstream. It seems like a little bit easier to control my speed with the slow drift. This wind is perfect for this, to be able to move it like 0.8 to 1.2 miles an hour. You can see we're right on the ledge, but watch what happens when you fall off. It falls off really quickly, and it seems like those big fish are really set up. There's a lot of fish in deeper water, but the feeding fish seem like they're up on the top of the ledge. See how you just rises back up. There's another walleye right there. See, that's walleyes right there. Okay, we might even catch that little nipper. Those are the type of guys you want, the ones that are they got their snout right on the edge of the ledge. Okay.
The bottom bouncers are one of your mainstay presentations for Canadian waters because they're very snag resistant. They will crawl up and down slopes, in and out of boulders, and a little wire feeler ticks across the bottom, and you have remarkably few snags. And as James mentioned before, they're a real versatile system. Most people who fish Canada will use them to fish a spinner rig with a night crawler, but we will also fish crankbaits behind them, or when the fish are really fussy, we'll just go to a plain snell with the night crawler rigged on the hook, a little bit bent so it barely flops around. So we've got this speed dynamic going for us. It can be anything from very slow and creeping and almost vertical to drifting presentation or slow trolling like we're doing right now, about 0.8 to 1.0 miles per hour with a spinner, a little bit faster when we're pulling a crankbait. And we'll get on these rocky structures and just cruise along the edges, and right now we're seeing most of our fish right around the 22 to 25 foot level, occasionally a little bit deeper. And James will just go along, crawl up and down along that break, and we're just covering a lot of water, and we're dialing in the speed and the depth, and it's perfect for catching walleyes in Canadian lakes.
One thing about deep water walleye fishing, you can't say enough about boat control. The guy who's running the boat will determine how many fish you catch in the boat. The reason being, like we're fishing this really distinct sharp ledge drop. If you go 40, 50 feet that way, 40, 50 feet that way, you probably will catch nothing. You know what I mean? So while I'm on the trolling motor, really sort of fine-tuning our speed in conjunction with the boat and the trolling motor. Not only that, with our baits and how we're just intermittently touching the bottom with that bottom bouncer, walking the bait at about 0.8 miles an hour to 1.2. I can't overstate how important that is, because you can come in here and fish a lot of different baits, and if you're moving too fast, you won't catch that many fish. It's critical how to position the bait in the right location.
Typically do a lift drop as you drift along. Hold the bottom bouncer a little bit above the bottom, then drop it down and let it stick momentarily, and that actually stops the spinner's progress, and it slackens a little bit, and then when you lift up and pop it up again, then it shoots forward. So you're kind of pulsing that spinner along. And by not totally dragging, then you're going to minimize your snag. So this ensures that you're always close to the bottom. And if you got a little thumb bar reel like this Quantum Smoke, you just press the thumb bar when you need a little bit more line, drop it down. As soon as it hits, close it up. This balances real nicely with about 10 pound test Suffolk Siege, which is a tough line. This Icon rod is actually part of St. Croix's Walleye series, and this particular action is designed for bottom bouncers. It's actually a medium heavy action, but it's got enough cushion up there at the tip to be able to absorb the weight and the constant lifting of the bouncer. It's not a real fast action tip. It blends very nicely, as we lift the bouncer off, on and off the bottom. And when we set the hook, we just kind of lean back into the fish and sweep set it to load it up. A lot of people will fish these things just dragging along in the rod holder, and the rod has enough cushion that it'll bend a bit before spooking the fish, and then hook them by itself.
There's one.
Another good one? Looks like it.
Yep. They're all horses. Wow. Ooh. Ooh. This is a walleye here. No, you can't. It's unbelievable how this, you get on the right ledges and how effective this is for really big walleyes. Wow. Huh. Darn it. Lord. Wow. Wow, man. Wow. I don't know, man. We caught some nice ones today. Man, it's just powering down there. Big walleye, great big one. Oh, come here, buddy. Oh, come here, buddy. There you go. Look at that guy there. Come here. Oh, well, come on. Come on. There you go. Look at that guy there. Holy mackerel. We've caught a number of these boys in here. Boy, that's a serious walleye there. Look at that guy there. Gorgeous fish.
There's one.
Got one, Dave?
Yep.
There you go. Size?
Medium.
Oop. Took a pretty
Down
big
there,
head pound to him.
Pounding around.
What's that?
Boom, 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 pounding around. Let's see, just a medium size, I think. We're getting spoiled. These are pretty nice size average for Canadian waters, I'll tell
Oh
you.
yeah, there you go. Wow. Look at that guy there. There you go.
Whew. That's fun. Yeah, there's a lot of lakes where walleyes are just a very small average size. These guys are running pretty good. The average fish we're catching is a big fish. Just the way we like it. Nice.
You can see the rig here. This is a VMC spinner rig. This is a double hook system that's really designed for night crawlers. It has two small hooks on there like that, and this sort of trails, and you can see why when they, a lot of times on walleyes, they come up and nip on this tail here, and they sort of inch their way up, and a lot of times you'll hook them with that back hook. Bouncing up walleyes means terminal tackle, and nobody makes it better than VMC. Today, Dave and I got 3 bottom bouncer rigs set up. We are hammering them on spinner rigs, which is nice, but you always have to be prepared. So the other 2 baits we have on are a VMC spin drift rig and the Rapala flat wrap, and each have a different application than a spinner. The spin drift hooking system allows you to move super slow and still have that spinning attraction without the blades falling dead in the water. This has a unique swivel to hook system which reduces line twist. The hook also has a technical bend which increases the traction of any live bait. They are made with 14-pound Suffix mono, so you know they can take a beating. The Rapala flat wrap system allows you the best of both worlds, moving fast or slow. We can put on a heavy bottom bouncer and burn this bait fast, or we can slow down and pump and pause the lure to trigger finicky biters. The important thing with any hard bait on a bottom bouncer is you have to have a shallow running lure, and it has to be a floater. This keeps that lure right where it should be, in the fish's face. The original Rapala and the flat wrap are two primaries. The nice thing about all VMC terminal tackle is you can put it in a few boxes and be prepared for anything. And the spinner blades are interchangeable, so you can mix and match to whatever watercolor you are faced with. And the Rapalas, well, you never go to Canada without them.
Feels like a good one.
Easy on them.
Yeah.
That looks like a... Okay, there you go. You all right, Dave?
I'm so far so good.
Sorry about that. Okay, there you go. There you go. Oh, damn it. There you go. I'll get the net. You got a whopper on there.
It's a whopper.
There you go. There you go.
Nice one.
Whoop. What is that?
It's a nice one.
What's that?
It's a nice one.
Wow, you're big, great big boy. Come here, buddy. Oh, there you go. Look at that guy. Whoa. Beautiful fish. Wow. No question about it, when it comes to catching big walleyes in Northwest Ontario, the bottom bouncer is the right rig for catching whoppers.